us take some of your vocals. If we try, hype up in the session. Hey y'all, I gotta cut this down for a minute, y'all. We're gonna get right back to it. Man, I have one of the legendary DJs on the live, y'all, Mr. Reggie Miles, y'all. I gotta say it first. Legendary Reggie Miles. How you doing, brother?
Bless you. Bless you. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, hear you loud and
Okay,
clear.
good. All right, good. Yes, I'm a legendary DJ, but I'm also a dancer.
Uh-huh.
I was I'm the I'm one of the first from that generation who danced and played the music at the same time. The only way I got to spin a set is that I won a dance contest at the hottest set that was going on in Chicago in 1986. It was called Mr. Ricky's, the
Okay.
Chick Rick House. And in that history, I was working for the post office at that time. And I didn't win because I was such a great dancer. It was because I had on that post office uniform. I was the window clerk, had my little tie on. I was a working man.
Okay.
And I was a blue collar dancer. And I had this lovely lady that after 36 years, I finally danced with her again at the Universal just this last Wednesday. Her name was Janice Morris. And we got in that contest. And I won that contest in 5 weeks in October consecutively. And everybody that was on top of their game at that time, I got them. I ain't gonna mention no names. You just have to ask. You just have to ask somebody.
Right.
But I got them. The hallmark of what I used to do as a DJ, Kevin, I would come from behind the booth and come out and dance with a girl and run back and play the music. Have the cut ready. I was dancing and spinning at the same time all the time. But I love what Quake said. I just want to make sure I got it, you know.
Right.
And I've been reading the book, and I'm so happy about the way the dance is going and what people are doing. My mission back out here is to bring the culture up and to say some things about the culture that has been has maybe been eroded or is not looked at. For example, when you talk about this dance, now everybody says stepping, 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 stepping. But the truth of the matter is, in our social partner dance, it's really three-dimensional. You step, bop, and walk. You cannot be a stepper and you don't know how to walk.
Okay.
That's just not possible. Because listen, the our social partner dance style was formed in direct opposition to disco. When disco came out in the 70s, Black Mary, Yvonne Paramore, Elaine Goodwin, all the ladies, they started doing a different, they started going to the ballrooms with this stuff. On the west side of Chicago, Carl Merritt and some of the other, Gus Redmond, some of the other great brothers doing that. And listen, our dance style, and Quake was dead on it. Our dance style was really a rite of passage for young men. The older brothers I got introduced to the game by my older brothers and my cousins who showed me how to handle myself in these sets. Now I'm gonna talk some about what Quake, and when I did that presentation at Step Against, my Friday presentation on the history, I wish Kathleen Wiggins had been there with me to complete it, but I talked about the dance from bopping going into stepping. And Quake was absolutely right. They started the underground. They named that. They named it. And it was really a battle dance. It was a warrior dance. They called it, you know, brothers like the people want to describe it now in the new realm or in this current manifestation. They want to say it was man on man. It was really dance offs. When I was in high school, I went to a Tilden High School in Chicago. We would go to the other high schools to their sock hops to go in competition with the dudes, because that was the only way the brothers could get to talk to the girls, man. We had to outdance them. And we would go there. And then we would take some of the girls with us to beat their best. It was just like high schools playing a basketball game with each other, because not all of us were in the hustler lifestyle. You know, not me, you know.
Right.
We weren't all there. So, you know, but Quake is absolutely right. There was one set in Chicago that was going on in the 80s. It was started off by the competition, but it was two ladies. Okay, it was a set that Alvia Woody McNeil started. Okay, well, she didn't start it, but she was the DJ. And Elaine Goodwin and this other female named Mary O's, they had a set every other Saturday in downtown Chicago. And this set started at 10 o'clock. It was at a perfect time for the sisters. You understand? Because the sisters that had kids, they could put their kids to sleep, you know, and do whatever they got to do. And then run out, come downtown, and go to this set. It happened every other Saturday. When I wasn't spinning, man, I was breaking my neck to get to that set. I lived for that set. And then at 10 o'clock, the players, the hustlers, everybody would come in. Those guys would come in, Bishop Juan, Lonnie Clark. And I love Lonnie Clark.
You mean Bishop Juan was there?
Yes. They would come in, they 12:30, 1 o'clock, and those cats was unassuming. They didn't say if they liked the way you danced, they would invite you over to come have a drink with them. They stayed in their own world. They did their own thing. General Minister Seaman, all of the cats, they was all there. And we all met. Blue collar, players, hustlers, everybody was there at this set. The set was given by the People's Choice. The first iteration of this set was the group called The Competition. After they broke up, and Elaine Goodwin and Mary Osnem, they started their own set, and their set was named by Valerie Simons, and she called them The People's Choice. I got a plugger on my page where you can see it. We weren't even calling the dance stepping. We weren't even calling it bopping. We were just going out to a dance. Let me tell you another story, and I want you to look this up for yourself. In 1968, the Chess Records house band called the Soulful Strings made a song called The Stepper in 1968. The first iteration of Steppers didn't come out till 1974. That's when they broke. Or they were pushing it in 72 when James Brown made You Can Have Watergate, but give me some. That was their dance song. Then Mo Peas, Pastor Peas, Just Give Me Some More. That was their thing. And Quake was absolutely right. Great DJs. Terrible Ted, Cousin Danny, may he rest in peace.
Terrible Ted was back there then.
Terrible Ted, they were proteges of Sam. See, people, listen, Sam was first and foremost a promoter. Sam will tell you, why do I need to hire a DJ? I just do be the DJ myself. Sam was brilliant in his marketing with what he did with this dance. Sam was a bus driver, okay? Sam was meeting young people every day. He was giving them pluggers, and I said this in my presentation. Man, Sam would give you transfers to get to the set. Man, they made a law. They made an ordinance against Sam Chapman and William Barnett. You understand? Because they used to put those posters on the pole. You can't put no posters on the pole in Chicago no more. The very same people that grew up with Sam, they still dance to his music today. So Sam is the innovator. He's there. Nobody will ever have the cachet of a Sam Chapman. He's equivalent in the stepper scene to like Herb Kent was with the Dusties. Okay? Hey, shoot, I couldn't get to spin because you had the Sam Chapman, Big Luke, Luther Gage, Ernest L. It was a closed society, Kevin. Alvia, Sweet Judy, both ladies and the guys. Man, do you know I literally had to win a dance contest before a social club would even talk to me. And the first social club I got talked to was Gregory Richardson's group, Michael Bennett, Preston Adams, and little Gerald. They were called the Four of Us. And we did Gerald, that group, the four of us did the first set north of Chicago Avenue on the first north side set. And I was their DJ along with the great Kenny B. Thompson. You know, we did that set. And the next group was probably the front runner to what social clubs are today. It was Richard Willis's group, Stephanie Cole, called The Connection. They hired me straight out of Mr. Ricky's. And then the club they were in was right down the street. It was called The Click. Or it was called Heroes at first. It was called Heroes at first. Then it became The Click. Okay, then it became The Click. So I did those things. I stayed in the game up until 92, and then I quit. I quit. It was something. Everything what Quake was talking about is true. The underground steppers, the younger generations that came in, that was coming into the high schools after I graduated in 72, changed the game. They rearranged it. They rearranged it with James Brown's music. You could have Watergate, Mo Peas, Pass the Peas. But the set that was probably the prototype of what the sets are now was given by Elaine Goodwin, Mary Oles. Their group was called the Connection. They were called the Competition. Then the group changed their name to the People's Choice. Their set didn't start till 10 o'clock on Saturday. 10 o'clock, it was from 10 to 3. Bishop Juan them was coming in there at 12:30, 1 o'clock. And anybody that knows this game that's been in Chicago on the old and the new school, it was one cat by the name of Lonnie Clark. I loved it. He was a player. I love that guy. He was in, if you get that movie Love Jones, and they do that stepper scene in there. He's like that tall brother that has on that hat. He always had the suit and the hat to match, impeccably dressed. Some of the fastest feet work that there was. Stepping, people want to try to separate stepping and bopping. There is a separation, but the foundation of the dance is bopping. The Chicago style bop is unique within itself. It was different from what they were doing from the East Coast and the West, because in Chicago, we took on a coolness. On my Mixcloud, I'll put it on my page. I'll send it to you. I'll talk about this thoroughly, how this came about. When we started dancing, okay, when I started dancing, when I learned this dance, we learned the dance called the one-handed bop. In Chicago, you had in different zip codes, everybody had a different style of dance, okay? Even the high schools had different styles of dance. And then you had to be careful which hand you used in the dance, because if you was in a place where they was having the right hand and you was dealing with the left, you're going to get your butt whooped. And that was true. Yes. Brothers brothers dance with their one hand, because in Chicago, just like in Milwaukee, it's cold. And brothers never would put up their coats. They got a style to whereas brothers would hold their arm and drape their coat over their arm because nobody ever wanted to check their coat because you never know when you had to run and you didn't want nobody to steal your coat.
Right.
The newest iterations you see of that dance, of that style today, all you got to do is look at a Kim Bowie, the way he holds his handkerchief. There's another brother by the name of James Shanks, the way he holds his handkerchief. It all comes from that one-handed style. The newer brothers, they began saving lives because what they did was start using two hands. What's up, Casper? I see you. They started using two hands in the dance and changing the footwork. The newer brothers developed that. So we didn't have to worry about the one hand, which hand to use in the bop. I grew up in this area in Chicago called Inglewood. To the left there was disciples. To the left there was disciples. To the right there were lovers. In the back of me were the cobras, and then to the front of me were the stones. And you had to know which hand to use when you was in these areas. Wow. Otherwise, you was going to get your butt whooped. So most of the time, I went to the high school dances. I went to Phillips and Lindblom. And Lindblom is where I met one of the greatest steppers, the innovator, one of the innovators of high stepping. That is a boy. If this boy give you an interview, boy, Claudell Jackson. Claudell Jackson is the unseen legend. This boy is a phenomenon on the dance floor. He's got that Lifetime Achievement Award, but he works in the post office. He's a blue collar worker. But everybody knows when he's on the floor, ain't too many gonna touch him doing anything, not on no dance floor. He is the innovator of what they called high stepping. He, along with Raymond Smith, who is better known as Ice Ray.
And I would love to, I don't think, does Ice Ray have a Facebook page?
Yes, Ray is on Facebook. But I don't know if Ray gonna, I'll talk to him. I just saw him Wednesday, so I'll talk to him and tell him you got an MO out on him and he needs to talk. And
Claudette, he has a Facebook.
Claudell is not on Facebook.
Okay.
Tina Moore is one of his employees. He's a postmaster.
Okay.
In the postal service, so Claudell is like under the radar. But Claudell, he went to this high school called Lindblom. And when I met Claudell, man, I wanted to just hang out and be with him. I went to summer school every summer. Mm-hmm. After meeting this dude in 70. I met Claudell, I think it was 70. It was either 70 or it's 69 or 70. But he and I would take classes in summer school together, and then he would invite me to all the Lindblom sets on Friday, to the sock hops that they had. And I'm watching this cat get down. So it's a lot of other history in addition to the history that's set out by the players. But we all came together at this set given by the People's Choice. And we all further came together with the creation of the of the world's largest steppers contest. See, and when that started, you're right. The first contest was sponsored by Budweiser, and the man's name was Rodney Burke. He's in Cleveland now, okay? But it was Rodney Burke. On the first world's largest steppers contest, I was a judge. Okay. Along with another jock by the name of William Berry, because at that time, when that set was going on, I was spinning the hottest set at Mr. Ricky's. And really, the world's largest steppers contest came out of Mr. Ricky's club, the Chick Rick House. Because, Budweiser was wanting to sell a lot of beer and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then Budweiser also sponsored the softball leagues in the summer. So Rodney Burke was looking for another avenue in which to do this. So Budweiser, along with the radio station V103 and their promotions director at the time, Mary Green, You know, they started doing this world's largest, and Sam was the first and the initial DJ. The first DJ on radio in Chicago, on commercial radio, was Kenny B. Thompson. I was the first radio guy on the air playing stepping music. I started that in '78 at a station called WKKC. I did that in college. Because I'm telling you, like it is today, the way guys can just have their MP3s and just, you know, do a couple of sets and all of a sudden they out there. It wasn't like that for me, man. I wasn't like that for me. It was a closed society, man. It was a group. Some of the legends, VA and Fox, maybe probably the first iteration of the Majestic Gents was Sam Chapman's group called the Mellow Fellows. Okay, and you know, you ain't gonna spend no set for Sam, and he brought you in. Sam eventually brought me in to spin for him when he was working, when he owned or worked the Fantasy, a club that was on 79th Street. And the only reason why he got me there, because some of his patrons told him, man, you better get this boy that's on this radio station, KKC, Reggie Miles. And Sam called me one night, and he said, well, what time you getting off? I said, well, I'm going to get off at 10:30. He said, well, you come on down here. I want you to spin for me. That's how me and Sam did that. And he brought me in and let me spin for him. And it was because some other girls had told him, some of his patrons. But that's how that was, man. This dance, the only thing that I want to see back in this dance is more walking music.
Okay.
You know, it's not just stepping. It is not that. The experience in our culture is both to hold a woman and to show off with the woman. You cannot just hold a woman, or if you're trying to up tempo, all this ain't no step in the name of love thing, you know? This ain't that. This ain't that. We got to, Quake was right. When we got together to dance. We got together to dance, to release ourselves from the pressures of life. That was what our whole thing was. I don't know why it's done went off to Pluto or to another planet. When a brother comes to the set, all he trying to do, what he trying to look good, have a good time, socialize. Either he choosing or he gonna get chose. And that's the same way on the female side too. But that goes on every set. And you can't be doing that kind of stuff and all the music is fast.
Right.
You can't be doing that. When I came out here, first question I asked the DJ, I say, man, I saw somebody that I hadn't seen in a few years. I say, man, can you break it down? I want to hold this woman. He looked at me like I was crazy. Man, you gonna kill my flow. So it's not so much that people don't know. It's that the culture has not been revealed. In my presentation, I talk about, well, what's the outside lane on the dance floor? The outside lane today on today's dance floors in these sets is for the heavy hitters, where brothers are peacocking, they showing off. But in reality, in our social type of set, the outside lane is supposed to be for the walkers. The walkers are always supposed to have the right of way in the set. If you're a stepper and you see a walker coming, you're supposed to move to the side. You're supposed to move to the side and let that walker come past you. A walker should not have no problem with that. That's the only thing that's missing. And the reason why that's missing, because a lot of the guys that came into the game as DJs, they came from the house side. And in the house side, you only know one way to play, and that's by the beat. But if you being true to this game, on the stepper side, you need to tell stories with that music. You don't know what no woman going through. You don't know what no brother going through. But you're supposed to feed their soul with that music. And just like Quake said when he translated, when people are dancing to that music, it's like, for example now, they put an artificial beat on Life in the Country. You understand? And the part where they sing that ba 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 ba, when they hit that part, I can't hear it no more because of the beat. And when I play the original version, when I hit that, it seems like my feet do what they want to do. You know? I'm ready to slide. You know, I'm ready to slide. I'm ready to do my thing. Casper, I can't go to every party now. You know?
Tell me this, Reggie. Is that the legendary Casper?
Yeah, that's Casper.
Wow.
That's Willie Casper. That's Willie Casper
Hey, this
Perry.
is
That's
really
him.
blowing my mind right now. I mean, I got
Yeah.
Quake, Reggie, the legendary Reggie Miles. Now Casper is on the line.
Yeah,
I
Casper
would
is on the line.
love to interview him. I would love to meet
Cat,
him.
Casper. Now I'm gonna get out the way. I'm gonna get out the way and let you tell it. Let Casper tell it. But and with the world's largest, right? And with Casper is phenomenal talent. Phenomenal talent. One of the best. One of the best that there was. But Casper's always humble. Casper can do the new style or any style. Casper can even two-step bop if he wants to.
Okay.
Okay, and see, and that's the thing. Listen, I'm going to a class now. And not to learn to dance, but I'm just going there to help out, to dance with them. And then when they learning the count, or like Quake said, when they learning the count, when I dance with the girl, you know, and I'm getting ready to go sit down, she say, "No, you come dance with me again." You know, because she wants to dance. The woman wants to dance with me again because it's a different style. Because I ain't putting that pressure on you. You know, all I want you to do is stay in front of me so I can maintain the lane structure on the dance floor. Man, the lane structure listen, when I go to a set now and I see a brother that's stepping and he starts to peacocking, man, I dance away from him. I get away because, you know, because the cats seem like they want to have all the floor. But a set, in essence, the stepper set, in essence, should be dynamic. It should be to it should be a combination of all music. You should have highs and lows. If you really want to test out the new school, all you got to do is play "Ain't That a Groove," dun 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 dun. Da-da-da-da. And most
Right.
of them cats can't dance off of that. They'll leave that one alone because that's a true bopper's cut. You know, that happens in the 50 on the third. If you really want to see the essence of some of what we do on the stepping side and where it all come from, you need to come to the 50-yard line on the third Friday. You know, because we do the stuff we've been doing since eons. We still do that. And we have fun. It's a video out that Tall Rick talks about the essence of what some of the early dancers, what they do. Because you see how I don't try to say that this school and that school, because I'm from true school. I'm true to this, not new to this. I was talking to somebody today. I'm not going to fuss with nobody about what your manifestation or what your iterations of this dance are. You do it. But eventually, Father Time is undefeated. You ain't going to be able to do that triple turn when you're 75 years old.
Right.
You better slow it. Because if you get a visit by Arthur and Ritus, and especially if rheumatoid come in there, your body ain't gonna let you do all those things. So learn to slow down your dance, because the true essence of what Chicago style dancing is smooth.
Wow.
It's smooth. It's cool and smooth. Brothers
So
gotta stop peacocking. Go ahead.
what's the lane the thing that you talk about?
Oh, the lane. Listen, on the dance floor, right? One person can't be going north and south,
Okay.
and then the next person is going to try to dance east and west. You won't have that structure. The lane is, you got this. What the way I was taught and the way I've always danced is that I'm going to stay in front of my partner and I'm going to keep her in front of me at all times. my space is 3 feet wide, 3 feet long. If I have to, and that's the beauty of what this dance is all about, is when the floor gets crowded and you trying to get your Mac on or something, that's if you're single now. All right, now, I ain't, all right, that's if you're single now, because I'm married now. If you
Right.
trying, all right, you understand? I don't want to get nobody in trouble, but right. I loved it. I loved it when the floor would get packed. I loved that because that forced me to get closer with this woman.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be trying to go all over the place, man. I'm trying to get right with her so I can say something in her ear, so I can hold her or whatever. Claudel is one of the greatest people that can do that. If he got 10 feet, he can dance and do his thing. If his space gets reduced, he'll cut his dance down. One of the first things I learned from a legendary dancer by the name of Calvin Barnes. I was inside. I was inside this place called the Male Matador. It was like a Monday or Tuesday night set or whatever. When the post office would get off, we would go hang out there. And I got in there and I was peacocking. You know what a peacock does, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Boom, he gets out and I left my tail out, and I was showing off. And Calvin Barnes, and I love Calvin Barnes, one of my mentors. He told me, he said, boy, what's wrong with you? He said, don't nobody care about you showing off like that and doing all that old wild stuff. He said, this dance is cool. I never forgot that. And I never would go to peacocking out there like that again.
Mm-hmm.
And I got more involved with the dance when my dance was toned down and I made it more smooth and cool. If I dance with, and Keisha Reese will tell you, if I dance with her, and Keisha is one of the best to do this dance. Keisha was getting ready to start slingshotting with her turn. I said, girl, don't you do that. I'm too old, y'all. I said, you got to, I ain't going there with you. And she would just laugh and make me do it anyway. But I'm not trying to go back and forth doing no Andre Blackwell, man. I can't do that.
Hey, tell me this, Reggie. Do you think that we can get together, because I love to do the show on Monday, and just one time just have a forum where I can come to Chicago, and I would like to do it this summer, and have those legendary people in one room, and we can just all have a conversation.
Man, that would be best. That would be best for me. Not during the summer. It could be in the summer, but right now the school is too hot. But sometime in the early fall, when I get back to school, I would love to be able to set that up. But I spent on Monday night,
Okay.
so
Well,
we'll
tell me
have.
this though. It doesn't even have to be a Monday night. It can just be a special edition. Which day that you think will be great?
Any Saturday afternoon. Saturday afternoon will be great.
Okay.
Cause that way I could talk to the boss and get to school, and we could sit down in our black box and talk about it and maybe film it. Man, that's a great project. That's a great
That would be great. I would
one.
love to do that. I would like to meet the Caspers. Bring Quake, uh, the Claudels, Keisha. I just want someone that can go back and talk about those things.
One of the things that's on my mind is the creation of the National Society of Boppers, Steppers, and Walkers. And one of the first things that needs to be done is for us to create, like the history makers.
Mm-hmm.
We need to create what they call that. The word just escaped me. I had it on my mind. It's like let me see. It's gonna come to me. Uh, It's like audio diaries. It's God, Doug. It's time capsules. I want
Mm-hmm.
everybody to tell their stories and oral history. That's it. Oral
Right.
hit. I'm sorry. Get together. I'm trying to find some grant money from one of these humanities councils and get this so I can get this oral history and put this together and try to associate it with the university. I'm pray for me trying to associate it with the university so there could be some place where we can keep and deposit this. And my university will be good. They'll love that, because Sam Chapman did a stepper set at Chicago State University before, so we into that. We could get into that, and then put that in relation to one of the other universities which has a black music arm, and we need to put that together. So you're an educator, so we need to sit down definitely and talk about that.
Yeah, I would definitely love to do that. Man, I'm so. When I saw Casper name, I was like, well, is that the original Casper?
Oh yeah, if that's Casper, you still here? Say something. Yeah, cause Casper is doing his thing. But I knew Casper when I first started spinning in this place called the Adam and Eve, and Casper was a lip sync artist. Casper would do that. We used to call it pantomiming back in the day. It was him and this guy named Sherman. It was a whole lot of other people. But Casper used to paint one side of his face James Brown, and he would do the other side Diana Ross. And Casper would put on a show. And I think he even did it on skates. Casper is one of the greatest entertainers of all time. He is one of the greatest entertainers of all time. I used to see him do this. He would come to the clubs where I was spinning at, boy, and he did that. That we used to call them pantomime shows back in the day. And then, the pantomiming thing is coming back around. The Whispers made a song which they say a line where it say a broken clock is right twice a day. So we're repeating some of the things that we're doing now. Lip syncing is coming back out. Like Quake said, old school is coming back in, because the sets and what we do with this dance, it's not just stepping. Stepping is a combination of walking. Walking is to that. You should also be able to go into a slow bop. And the instructors are only teaching one thing now. They're only teaching to step, and that's good. But here's what I want to say to any student that's in dance right now. Hey, Casper, I'm gonna let you get off, so I'm gonna get off so you can talk. This is what I want to say. Anybody that's learning this dance, okay? After you get the basics from your instructor, don't continue in your journey as your instructor's clone. You find yourself in this dance. Look to some other people and then develop who you are in this dance. Develop who you are in it. And the only way you're going to do that is to keep dancing with other people. That don't mean you have to disrespect your instructor. It's just you don't have to take beginners 2. After you get those basics, you ain't got to take beginners 2, 3, and 4, or intermediate 1, 2, and 3. You don't have to do that. Just keep moving. Just keep it moving. Man, I appreciate you, man, and thank you. Thank you so much.
Just thank you, man. Like I said, Quake, man, it's an honor just knowing who you guys are.
Quake inspired me. He inspired me. He inspired me today. So I said, "Oh, Quake on here." I said, "Doom. Let me start saying something."
Wow, I mean that's just great information. And like I said, I want to get together with you so we can put this forum together, man. So we can just sit and talk, break bread, and Miss Dee Dee, she wants to be involved with it too, man.
Amen. It has to be a national society of boppers, steppers, and walkers. It has to all this stuff about who doing this and how this dance, all that stuff needs to cease, because the dance came from the bop. Okay, the dance changed when the Lindy Hop. When big bands went out, that was the end of the Lindy Hop. That was the end of it. Because the music wasn't there for people to be doing that, okay? They weren't there to do that. So it changed. It went to this R&B thing, and that's when bopping came out. Philly got their bop. DC got a variation of the bop. They call it the hand dance. Detroit did their own thing. When it got to us, we took it and made it cooler. We took it and made it cooler. We made it smoother, because the people in Chicago weren't doing all that acrobatic stuff. They weren't going to do that no more. They're trying to bring that back now, but the cats that's really into this step, we're not gonna do that. Chicago, we didn't do that. Chicago styles dancing has always been smooth and cool. It's always been smooth and cool. And you have to have walking in these dances. People from out of town or people that came from disco coming in the house, you gotta you gotta just know that it's a different type of set now. You're not gonna hear all up tempo music. Some of that music like that Shantae Moore, you gotta get with that. You gotta get with that. You gotta get with that what is that well, whatever it is, I like it. You know, all her Shantae stuff is smooth.
Right.
That love is a battlefield. Feel that one
Mesa.
by
Mesa.
yeah, Mesa.
Yeah.
And then that Carmichael Music Lover.
Oh
You
yeah.
know the love count the stars. Some of the smoother music you got to get with that. See, because as a dancer, I'm gonna tell you, I can bop, slow bop, and walk on any song at will. And that's what I look to do when I dance, because I want to have fun with the dance. I'm not trying to do this turn that because I can't do that no more. I'm 65. My body, it's not like that for me no more. So I want to hold that woman. I want to be able to slow by. I want to be able to tell her in her ear if the song is like if that song Tony Braxton, "Long as I Live," if that comes on, I want to be able to tell her, "Come on, let's do a stride walk." I'm not gonna try to keep up with that song. Let's do a stride walk. Let's hit the outside lane. These dancers, these brothers, when they peacocking, y'all got to come to the inside and let the walkers give the walkers the right of way. DJs, when y'all DJing, y'all need to call it. Y'all need to say steppers on the inside, walkers take the outside. Y'all need to call it. It ain't about beat, it ain't about beat matching all the time. Play your music to tell some stories in the dance. You don't know what a person is going through in there, and everything ain't about or matching 92 or 90 BPM. You try listen. No, I ain't. Amen.
Man, go ahead, Reggie. Go ahead.
It's not all. Listen, the dance was started. Black Mary Harris, Devon Paramore, people on the West Side. They started doing the social clubs in direct opposition to the disco music. Okay, when the elites and the other people that was coming in with that disco music, they started building all these fancy clubs and all this. In Chicago, we had the Nimbus and the Fusion, other places, and there was just that. We didn't want that. We wanted to be able to relate and hug with one another. Okay, so people coming from the house culture and doing all this, let that stay in house. But ain't no house. I want you to tell me what house DJ knows how to play a slow record. I'll give you $5 right now. Ain't a house DJ alive know how to play a slow record. Because if they can't figure out and match the beat to it, they lost. Okay? And the first thing a house jock do when they come in there, they gotta learn the music. And they don't know how it is. See, a lot of cats just not playing anything thinking it's a stepper song. Not true. Not true. Not true. Not every song is a stepper song. Has to be some type of message with it. The Godfather of all DJs says 99% of all music on a stepper set is about love and relationships.
Wow. Yeah. And that's the way I like to play. I really like to play like that.
99%. That's what he says. In the old days, we did play a boogie song, and we would play the boogie song just before the intermission. You knew that was coming, and that would be just for the people who like the boogie, and we'd play a boogie song for them. Even back in the day, back in the day in the 90s, early 90s, I would go ahead on and let it play Hip Hop Hooray. Oh, I would play that, and everybody would go to the floor, and some of the steppers would still try to step with that. But even on the disco side, I played the dub version of Frankie Knuckles' It's Hard Sometimes. The club remix dub version. It was slower and went boom, 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 boom. And that had a smooth tone to it. And cats would do that footwork off of that. They would lose their mind. Okay? But all the time, you got to play some walk records. And then a jazz, you can't be scared to play no jazz. It's a lot of good jazz out here.
Mm-hmm.
You can see any time that, and some of us older, or some of us older dancers, you can play Shirley Scott Shirley. You understand? You can play Shirley Scott Shirley, and some of us old dancers will lose our mind on that and dance to that organ and that saxophone.
Mm-hmm.
There are things in that dance when I hear this music, and I hear that the orchestration and stuff. My feet gonna go a certain way. I'm gonna get down. I'm gonna get down. I'm not trying to 5, 6, 7, 8. Who am I gonna try to date? I'm not dealing with that. I'm not. I'm not trying to deal with that, man.
Right.
I am not. So I'm trying to get into that music, trying to make that relationship in that set, and call it a day. All the cats that's out, I love Chick Man, Sean. I love all the cats that's out here. Oh, I tell them, first thing I tell them, man, and even the DJs, that's man, when I get big, I want to be just like you. It's the first thing I tell them. That's how I introduce myself. Look, man, I act like I'm taking notes. I walk up to Chick Man and see him out there dancing. I stand on the edge and I act like I'm taking notes. Did that, and then the cats look at me and and then they'll see me dance. I used to tease Doc all the time. I tell Doc, I say, man, Doc, I'm coming up there on Monday night. He said, man, you need to stop lying. Mm-hmm. He just told me straight out. But dance, enjoy yourself, but remember, stepping, the culture of stepping, it includes bopping and walking. It's not just stepping. Our social partner dance is dynamic. It's three-dimensional. It is not one-dimensional. It is not one-dimensional. I wish stop doing that. You do our sets on the social partner side does not have to be all up-tempo music. Step in the Name of Love is not a stepper song. That was an expansion song. That was a come on, start learning the step song. But ain't no way in the world that's a stepper song. Ain't never been.
Wow. Y'all heard it here first, y'all. We're getting so much history tonight. Man, this got to be one of the best shows ever. And with the legendary Reggie Miles, Quake, man. Now, if I can get the Casper boy, oh my God.
Casper ready. I think he going. Thank you. I'm going. I'm gonna listen to what Casper say. I gotta listen to this whole show because this was really nice, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate
you. Appreciate you. Love you, brother.
All right, love you back.
All right.
Later.
Man, y'all heard it here first on the lower level, man. Ooh, man, I gotta sit back in my chair, man, and get so much history on what's going on in the past, and now I'm trying to, just trying to see if I can get Casper, that would be great if I can get Casper on. Let's see if I can find him. Man, I started off with Tina Mendez and oh my goodness. Man, I don't know if I'm not. Wow, that's just it was so much history that was spoken upon tonight, and wow, man,